Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and welcome to all of the participants today. I apologize that I can't be there with you in person. It was
plans, and Allah is the best of planners. So, Alhamdulillah, I'm able to join you today virtually, and inshallah, I can join you in person soon. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So I have the great privilege to record this short reflection from my local masjid. It's just after Fajr, so it's
good time. And I pray that your time together today is blessed and that Allah puts barakah in all of the events and awards and reflections that will happen today. So I decided for my presentation that I would take some inspiration from my dear brother Idris Khamisa, who is there with you, and to just speak to you from the heart. And that's what I'll try to do. I'll keep this brief today. I'd like to share with you a story, a reflection, and close with a poem, inshallah. So the story I want to begin with is a train ride 15 years ago from Mumbai to Jaipur, where I was living at the time. And for some reason, I decided that I would travel third class on this particular train ride. And I was blessed to sit next to a family from Srinagar, Kashmir. In fact, a family of Pashmina shawl weavers. And by the end of that train ride, which was some
to visit their home. And I took up that invitation. I took a train ride later up to Kashmir and spent, I think, 4 or 5 days in Srinagar living with this family. And during that time, alhamdulillah, they took me to the Grand Mosque, the Jama Masjid in Srinagar. And that was a transformative experience for me. It was 7 years prior to embracing Islam, but it left a real indelible mark on me. And I sensed at that time the majesty of Islam, the sacredness of Islam, and the beauty of Islam. And that memory has stayed with me all of those years.
It's reminded me of the greatness that our Islamic civilization is capable of. And so today, what I wanted to reflect on with you is this idea of reviving education, reviving Islamic education, reviving our ummah. And a big part of that is through education. And so I titled this reflection From Aspirations to Reality. And how do we make that leap from our dreams, from our visions to actual reality? Now, you're all seated there in Hyderabad, and you have probably not too far from you the Char Minar, which is another sign of the greatness of our civilization during the golden era of Islam. And so what I propose is that we need a new golden age of Islam. And the time is now. Each generation is called to revive the tradition and to bring to fruition
about this today, how we can move from aspirations to reality. And one of the things I learned early on in Islam is that one should make a big dua, because Allah is Al-Ghani, Allah is the Almighty, Allah is the most capable. And so why not make a big dua? Don't ask just for Jannah, ask for Jannah al-Firdaus. And the same here, don't ask just for reviving our schools, ask to make our revival bring about a new golden age of Islam. And we all have a part to play in this. We all have seeds to plant along the way. And so I want you to reflect today.
seed that you will plant. Now, the beautiful thing is that we are not responsible for the results of planting that seed. We are simply responsible for planting the seed and then putting our best effort in to make it grow. But Allah is the one that will make that seed grow. And it may be in a month, it may be in a year, or in the case of the Global Association of Islamic Schools, it may be 45 years later from when that seed was planted. And I'll share that story as well before I read the poem I'd like to read to you all. So today, moving from aspirations to reality, first we have to
The dua that we want to revive our education systems, that we want to revive our schools, and that we want to revive our ummah. And then we need to get down into the garden and start doing the work. Everything we need, I believe, is already here for reviving our education systems. All of the tools, all of the pedagogies, all of the information we need is out there, and we just need to bring it together. And many of the speakers today that you're hearing from, and many of the teachers that are being acknowledged, you already have these tools. And it's a matter of coming together and each of us doing their part. There's an environmentalist from the US that I really appreciate. His name is Wendell Berry. And he once said that the work of planet saving will be small, humble,
but insofar as it involves love, it will be immensely rewarding. And it won't make anyone famous or rich, but if we all do our part, then we can, inshallah, revive our earth, our community, our humanity. And we can, of course, understand that from the Islamic perspective as well. Each of us doing our part to try and revive the tradition, whatever it may be. And sometimes it's just the transformation of one student, and that can make all of the difference. So each of us has a part to play, and we ask Allah to make us worthy of the task before us. And perhaps in another time, we can go into some of the deeper work of what these tools look like and how to implement them. Many of them you're aware of, such as inquiry-based learning, project-based learning, place-based learning, drawing upon our tradition, bringing back the halakha, bringing back character development, which was always at the root of Islamic education. And then also bringing in many of the new pedagogies that are available to us. And in this sense, I believe we do have everything we need to revive Islamic education. And so I ask you to reflect again, what is that seed that you want to plant when you go back to your communities and your schools? And if we're all planting seeds, then inshallah we'll have a beautiful, beautiful harvest. So I'd like to close with this poem. And the poem is one that I wrote at the first.
Now, in 1977, there was a gathering in Mecca, which was the first world conference on Islamic education, or on Muslim education, as they put it at that time. And when I learned about that gathering, I was truly inspired. It began my journey into learning about Islamic education and the philosophy of Islamic education and the history of Islamic education. Now, as I was reading the reports from that
conference on Muslim education, I came across something that was recommendation M, and that was the setting up of a world union of Islamic schools in 1977. Now, the GAIS, the Global Association of Islamic Schools, which is the reason I'm here today, as I met your dear brother Misbah at that gathering. That group of educationalists met in Turkey 45 years.
That seed that was planted in Mecca in 1977 finally came to fruition because of the ikhlas, because of the ihsan, because of the istiqamah of those that planted that seed 45 years prior. So I wrote this poem that's titled Seeds of Renewal. And in closing, I'd like to read it for you. I've also recited it in Cambridge at the Roadmap to Renewal Conference, and I'm honored to again recite it at this blessed gathering in Hyderabad today. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. From the four corners we came. From the screens of Zoom, extracted like we were on Yom.
We came. We reaffirmed the primordial call, Bella, standing tall and peering far, to the past and to the future. We hitched our wagons to the stars. We put down our buckets where we are, to water seeds planted by Abu Ayyub, seeds of hopes and dreams and future deeds. Every generation is called to lead and to remember, to rekindle the embers, to revive the tradition, to bring to fruition the work of those who came before. So open the door and join us. This is not
soil with great care. We are hopers and dreamers and action weavers. We are sincere believers in the message of the final prophet, peace upon him, the greatest of teachers. We are trustees of Al-Mubin, servants of the all-knower of the unseen, he who bears the most beautiful names, the most merciful, the most compassionate, the creator, the sustainer, the maintainer, the omniscient one from whom all begun, who begets not nor is begotten, giver of hope for the downtrodden, Al-Aziz, Al-Azim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I will pray for all of you, and please pray for me, and pray for the great task
Allah has assigned us to. Of course, nothing is by accident. There's a very important reason why we're all gathered here today. And I pray that Allah facilitates our efforts and grants us tawfiq fi dunya wa fil akhirah. Jazakum Allah khairan wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.